Hey everybody, Caleb Loy with Blue University again. Thanks so much for joining. This is gift number 2 on private equity worldwide, and this is just going to show why you should get into private anything, private equity specifically, and how that's completely changing how things are done. So let's dig right in here and get going. So the value of funds raised by the largest private equity firm worldwide between 15 and 20 in the billions of dollars with Blackstone at 95, which is way ahead of everybody else. But you have down in fourth place, you have some more tangible numbers, which is about 38 billion and so forth. So you have a lot of money, lots. So these are just the private equity firms worldwide. And so there are um, mass amounts of these types of deals that go down. And obviously, number one is going to be pretty large. Largest global private equity company between 16 and 21 by fundraising capacity. So same thing, Blackstone 93 million. And consider that when you're talking about like a private trade deal or private placement program or whatever it is that you're talking about. It talks about ridiculous amounts of money. Just keep that in mind of the statistics that are available to us from the wealthiest people in the world. The value of private equity backed buyout deals worldwide. Again, there's some really smoking hot deals, but there's always going to be massive deals that are in the billions of dollars. So you close a $1 billion deal or you close a $100,000 house compared to a $100 million house, your commission is going to be massively different. And so that world exists, those funds and deals exist. Value of private equity funds worldwide as of April 2021 by target region. Obviously, North America is going to win on that one, and Canada is going to be included there too, by the way. So value of private equity deals worldwide. So United States is ahead from 2019 to 2021, and it's interesting that 2021 increased so much because you had a lot of deals that had to change. So a lot of shift happened, and where people went was in the private space, and so that's what we're talking about now. Investor perspective throughout this is that the performance expectation of private equity over the next 12 months among institutional investors worldwide from 19 to 21. This is I love this. You have the will exceed benchmark on the left hand side. Is that you have the majority? I mean, that's a pretty large portion that say they will exceed their benchmark. They will exceed their expectations. And then you have most will meet their benchmark. Well, majority. The majority will meet their benchmark rather. And so you have a massive amount of confidence in these decision makings. And so they are not government contracts and they're not like these Fortune 500 companies that move really slow to get things done. These are, private equity deals. And so they can sit down with, the new creator of a cryptocurrency and fund that deal or, or whatever it is that they're trying to do, and they can negotiate and stroke the check. I mean, that's how fast it would take. And so they're able to do deals quickly. And so that's very helpful. Private equity investment plans of institutional investors globally in 21 compared to 2020, 45% said they were going to invest more. And that's after experiencing COVID. Huge deal. Next is keep it the same, 39%, but that just goes to show that the market is definitely strong for sure. Take two. Private equity investment plans of institutional investors globally in 2021 compared with 2020. And this is interesting because they just went through COVID, and then you have 45% of them that said, yeah, we're going to invest more. 39% of them, yeah, we're going to keep investments the same. And that's a huge portion that says, yeah, we're happy. And if I had more, I'd put more into it. Current allocation for private equity among institutional investors worldwide in 2020. They're at their target market, 45%, which means they're doing a good job during COVID. And 36% of them are under allocated, which means obviously they needed some cash. Major challenges facing the private equity industry over the next 5 years in Europe. So you have COVID, deal flows, everybody figuring out what the process is for that, increasing regulation, investment opportunities, pressure of lower fees, competition between funds, portfolio valuations, and taxation and carried out interest. And so you can help out in any one of these categories. These are the top needs of these people, the top 7 needs, according to 250 respondents that are in these categories. And so if you were to say, well, what can I do? Well, they're telling you what you could do, and they're willing to pay out through the nose to get it done too. Leading concerns of private equity investors in the Asia Pacific, same thing. They all basically have the same problem. Asia Pacific a little bit more techy, probably from hacking and things like that. Leading portfolio risk for private equity investors in the Asia Pacific by type, same thing. Competitive position, balance sheet, organizational agility. So they want something that's aggressive and that's making the money. So it's kind of the opposite of a long-term investment from like the first video that was sent to you before, where they're a little bit more different. For this is more kind of like right now type deal. Here you have the value of private equity deals in the United States from 2011 to 2020, and as you can see, it just keeps on going up. Exception for 2020, but for obvious reasons. Leading private equity investors in the United States, Insight Partners, by number of investments. So these are the types of deals, number of deals that they've done. Investment deals are going to be different than like a trade deal or something. It's going to be a little bit more hardcore. So 645, which is outstanding. And then you get down to kind of like 7 or 8, 9. Then you get down to like the 200s or so. So if you were a part of any one of these groups and you did 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 throughout your career, I mean, you'd be doing an absolutely fantastic job. Why is my nose itching like this right now, like that? Oh, okay. I'm ready again. All right. Leading private equity investors in the United States as of July 2021 by number of exits. Again, you have the investors that are going to be changing out hands. Private equity deals in Canada from 2011 to 2020. Just to go goes to show, even in Canada, I mean, Canada is smaller than California, and so you have a place like Canada even just going gangbusters over it too, doing really well. Most active private equity investors in Canada, still doing really awesome. And even if you were to work for number 5 or something and you just did 1 deal, leading private equity exits in Canada for mergers and acquisitions type thing. And then this is private equity in Asia Pacific. So obviously you have China that goes way above and beyond everybody. But again, those are in-house deals. There's not a whole lot of deals going in and out of that country itself. Then you have Japan, Australia, India, South Korea, and the rest. The number of private equity transitions in China all the way up to 2021, it keeps on continuing to go up and up and up. And the value of private equity fundraising in Australia, obviously they're doing way better than 10 years ago. And like if you look at 2011, like even if you look at 2020, 4.3, and that was a bad year, right? 4.3, and you have all billion US Australian dollars rather, and then you have 2010. So that's a solid 10 years. I mean, that's a massive difference, right? And then you have during COVID on top of it all. It just says that something's happened, right? So that the market's changed and the waterfall is there. And if you want to get wet, stand under a waterfall. Number of investment deals in Australia in financial year 2019 by value. So this is kind of cool. I mean, that's a lot of deals under 1 million. That's still fine. But 1 million to 10 million, 378, 10 million to 20 million Australian dollars, 74, 137, 20 million Australian dollars more. And this is Australia. That's small country, right? And somebody has to do these deals and somebody needs to help them. Number of private equity deals across India. So as you can see, even they've got on board and increased. And private equity in Europe. So value private equity funds raised in Europe. And as you can see, all the way up to 2021, you have a little bit of a dip. And then this goes to show from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, everybody's going into more of a digitified here rather than in the 0 digits. Number of private equity transactions in Central and Eastern Europe from 11 to 21, even a steady increase, as you can see there. And largest private equity transaction in Central and Eastern Europe. They've done 3.69 billion euros. So anyway, so you have all of these people doing billions of dollars in transactions, is my point. And they have somebody underwriting something, rather. And it keeps going up and will continue to grow and grow and grow because of how many people that we have in this world. But I hope that this kind of helps paint the perspective of the world that we're in and how you too could be a part of these deals. They're huge. And if you could imagine getting a small portion of a big number, they're very rewarding. So keep your eye out for the third gift. It's a really great one. It's on global information too. It'd be really beneficial for you, and really hope that this is great. And look forward to seeing you on Thursday at the webinar at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. All right, thanks so much. I'll talk to you and see you later. Bye.